Hello everyone. Today at the lesson we are going to continue speaking about the country study of the United Kingdom. And today we are going to discuss the general information about Wales, Cardiff. Today at the lesson the students will be able to list the main facts connected to the geographical position of Wales, names of the national parks, areas of outstanding beauty, Welsh wonders. Characterize the capital city and national culture and make short investigation on the topic. But before we start speaking about our new theme, I would like you to check up your knowledge of the previous lesson. So take a pen and a piece of paper and get ready to answer the following questions about England and Scotland as constituent parts of the United Kingdom. So the questions are: the country status, the land borders, the water borders, the mountains, the highest peak, the rivers and lakes, the islands, the regions, and the capital and major cities. So let's start. Hooray! Let's start checking up. The country status of both constituent parts of England and Scotland is a kingdom and a kingdom. The land borders. England is bordered by Scotland and Wales, and Scotland shares land border with England. Water borders. England is washed by the North, the Celtic, the Irish Seas, the English and the Bristol Channel. Scotland is washed by the North Sea and the North Channel. The mountains and the highest peak. The mountains in England are the Pennines, the Cambrians, and the highest peak is Scafell Pike here. In Scotland, the mountains are the Grampians and the Cheviots, and the highest peak is Ben Nevis, of course. The rivers and the lakes. In England, there are a lot of rivers, but the most important ones are the Thames, the Severn, the Ouse, and the Avon. In Scotland, there are some of them. The Tweed, the Spey, and the Dee are the most important. The islands. There are over 100 islands around England, and the Isle of Wight and the Isles of Scilly are the most important and the largest one. Near the constituent part, which is Scotland, there are over 790 islands, and the most famous one are the Isle of Skye and the groups of islands, the Hebrides, the Orkneys, and the Shetlands. The regions. In England, there are two regions, the Highland and the Lowland. In Scotland, there are three of them, the Highlands, the Central Midlands, and the Southern Uplands, which are also the Scots country. The capital in England is London, and the major cities are Oxford, Manchester, Liverpool, and many others. In Scotland, the capital is Edinburgh, and the major cities are Glasgow, Aberdeen, and Inverness. The next part: the symbols, the climate, the number of national parks, the flora, the fauna, number of population, the language spoken, and national day. If you are ready to start, then let's start. time is up and we are ready to start checking up. So the symbols: flower, animal and saint. In England, the symbols are a red rose, a lion and the St. George, who is a saint patron. In Scotland, the national flower is a thistle, national animal is a unicorn, and the saint is St. Andrew. The climate in England is temperate maritime, and the climate in Scotland is temperate and rainy. Number of national parks. If you remember, there are 10 national parks in England and there are only 2 national parks in Scotland. The flora. The flora in England is represented by oaks, limes, birches and elms, and there are not so many forests in England. In Scotland, the flora is represented by woodland, moorland and tundra species. The fauna. The fauna in England is represented by foxes, squirrels, hares, deer and otters. Most of them are very little. And in Scotland, the national icon is a golden eagle, and there are a lot of seals, seabirds, martin, mountain hare, ptarmigan and many others. The number of population. There are over 55 million people living in England, and in Scotland there are over 5 million people. The language spoken. In England, the language is, of course, English. That is a national language in the country. In Scotland, there are 2 languages: English, which is a national and official language, and Scottish Gaelic. The national day in England is St. George's Day, and it is on the 23rd of April. And the national day in Scotland is St. Andrew's Day, which is on the 30th of November. Hooray! That's it about the previous lesson. Now we are going to start speaking about our new theme, Wales Cardiff. Today we are going to discuss the main points: the geographical position, areas of outstanding beauty, flora and fauna, population, language and culture, government and sports, and we will speak about Cardiff as the capital city of Wales. Let's start. So, Wales is located on a peninsula in central West Great Britain. Wales is bordered by England to the east and by sea in the other 3 directions: the Bristol Channel to the south, the Celtic Sea to the west, and the Irish Sea to the north. Altogether, Wales has over 1,200 kilometers of coastline. There are several islands of the Welsh mainland, the largest being Anglesey in the northwest. Rivers and lakes. There are many rivers, as you can see on the map, but the longest and the most important ones are the River Severn, the River Wye, which is in the Wye Valley, the Teme River and River Dee, while River Tower is the longest river that flows entirely within the borders of the country. Speaking about the lakes or Leen, Lake Bala, for example, is Leen Taggart, is the largest lake in Wales in Snowdonia. So you can notice that Leen means lake in Welsh. Lake Bala or Leen Taggart. Most of the lakes here have 2 names, in English and in Welsh. The next point we are going to discuss is the mountains. The Welsh mountains that make our landscape so distinctive were carved out in the Ice Age, some 2,000 years ago. They are our defense and our lifeline, a challenge and inspiration. That is a quotation most of the Welsh people use to characterize their mountains. There are 2 types of mountains. There are two numbers, 2 types: Cambrian mountains and Brecon Beacon. Snowdon is the highest peak in Cambrian Mountains. The next one. There are 3 national parks, which are Snowdonia, Breckenbecken, and the Pembrokeshire coast. So you see here are the pictures of them. The Heritage Coast is also a very famous, and much of the coastline of South and West Wales is designated as Heritage Coast. The coastline of the Glamorgan Heritage Coast, the Gower Peninsula, Pembrokeshire, Carmarthenshire, and the Ceredigion is particularly wild and impressive. They all have clean blue water, white sand beaches, and impressive marine life. The next point is the areas of outstanding natural beauty. Areas of outstanding natural beauty in Wales are Anglesey, which is an island, you remember, the Clwydyn Range, the Gower Peninsula, and the Wye Valley. So there are 4 of them. Besides that, there are 7 Welsh wonders, and here is even a certain poem about them. Pistol Rudder and Wrexham Steeple, Snowdon Mountain without its people, Overton Yew Trees, St. Winifred's Wells, Llangollen Bridge, and Gresford Bells. So most of the 7 Welsh wonders are described in this poem. There is another distinctive feature of Wales, which is a daffodil, and even the most famous English poet William Wordsworth wrote very vivid and descriptive poem about the national flower of Wales. I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high over Wealden hills. Then all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils, beside the lake, beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze. There are lots of them in Wales, that is why daffodil is a national flower here. Speaking about flora in the country, the north-facing high grounds of Snowdonia support a relic pre-glacial flora. Wales hosts a number of plant species not found elsewhere in the UK. The wildlife of Wales is typical of Britain, with several distinctions. Due to its long coastline, Wales hosts a variety of seabirds, and there are 2 species of small rodent, the yellow-necked mouse and the dormouse, which are of great Welsh note, being found at the historical undisturbed border area. The national animal, the Welsh official animal, is a red dragon here, which is depicted on the flag with white and green felt, and the flag was adopted only in 1959. And here is even the rumors that Welsh people want to combine their red dragon with an official flag, which is called Union Jack today, and they would like to make their own representation of the flag in the country. Wales has a population estimated at 3 million and is officially bilingual, with both Welsh and English having equal status. The majority of the population use English as their first language, and there is a national music festival. The principal Welsh festival of music and poetry is called National Eisteddfod. Wales is often referred as the land of song. And Eisteddfod is a Welsh festival of literature, music and performance, and the tradition dates back to the 12th century when a festival of poetry and music was held by a local king at his court in Cardiff in 1176. The word Eisteddfod means to be seating or to be sitting together. Nowadays, here is even an international festival, for example, Llangollen International Festival, and it is famous all over the world. All the people representing different nations can attend the festival and present their songs and music, their creative works. The national day in the country is the 1st of March. Traditional festivities include wearing daffodils and leeks, recognized symbols of Wales and St. David respectively, eating traditional Welsh food including Holland Welsh rarebit, and women wearing traditional Welsh dress. So, if you remember, there are two languages in Wales. Here is English, an example of the sign in English and Welsh, and here you can see that Wales in Welsh is usually called Cymru or Cymru, and most of the signs in the country are in two languages, in English and in Welsh. Here is an example of Welsh alphabet, and you can see most of the letters look like English, but here are certain letters which are a distinctive feature of the Welsh alphabet. It is rather easy to read if you know how to read it. For example, good luck. I hope that you can read this and that it makes sense to you. If you can read this, then you are doing fine and will have no problems at all in learning our fine Welsh alphabet. So you see that it is rather easy to read the Welsh writings. So let's continue. Here are even the radio stations which are in Welsh, and here are three of them. BBC Wales, which has two channels, BBC One and BBC Two. Here is also BBC Radio Wales and BBC Radio Cymru. Besides that, in the country there are some of the Wales-based newspapers, and Wales has some 20 publishing companies in the country. The main population and industrial areas in the country are in South Wales, constituting of the cities of Cardiff, Swansea, Newport and Wrexham. Wales is the largest principality. This means that it is ruled by a prince, and traditionally the Prince of Wales is the eldest son of the English monarch. Llywelyn the Great founded the Principality of Wales in 1216. In 1282, Wales became a part of England when Edward I defeated Llywelyn. Do you remember Edward III? He is the hammer of his courts, and he joined Wales and made it a principality. The head of state in Wales is the British monarch. The National Assembly for Wales is in Cardiff, and in the British House of Commons, Wales is represented by 14 members of the Parliament. The most popular sports in Wales are football, rugby, golf and boxing. Wales has its own governing bodies in rugby, the Welsh Rugby Union, and in football, the Football Association of Wales. Speaking about the capital city of the country, it is Cardiff. Cardiff is a capital city in Wales, and it was built by Romans in 75 AD. The word Cardiff is of Welsh origin, which means did or Taff, the river, and Cardiff is the fort on the river Taff. Nowadays, Cardiff is a commercial, political, tourism, transport, sporting and media center, and besides that, Cardiff is the most popular visitor destination in Wales with millions of visitors every year. Cardiff being divided into three regions, which are inner, rural and suburban, and Cardiff is rich with castles, churches and sights. There are a lot of sightseeing in the city. Here is a very good example of the site which represents the Millennium Center, which is an art center located in the Cardiff Bay Area. The center has hosted performances of opera, ballet, contemporary dance, theater, comedy and musicals. And at the entrance of the Millennium Center, there is an inscription made both in English and Welsh, which means that these stones have risen seen. Even the stones in the country can sing. That's it. Let's check the information you've got out of the lecture. The first one. What are the land borders of Wales? What are the water borders of Wales? What is the name of the neighboring island? What are the three national parks? What are the areas of outstanding beauty? What are the 7 Welsh wonders? What is the language spoken? What is the name of the capital and major cities? What is the national flower and patron in the country? What is the official animal? What are the most popular sports? What is the name of the National Festival of Music and Dance? What are the main functions of Cardiff as a capital city? What are the 3 regions in Cardiff? And now, here is an investigation task for you. Investigate and mark on the blind map the water and the land borders of Wales, the Anglesey Island, Park Snowdonia with Snowdon Peak, the Severn, Glamorgan Heritage Coast. And here is another investigation task for you. Investigate and express in 50 sentences. Describe the main Welsh wonders: Pistilbreda, Wrexham Steeple, Snowdon Mountain, Overton Yew Trees, St. Winifred Wells, Llangollen Bridge, and Gresford Bells. As usual, here is a list of reference sources you can use to investigate the mentioned points. Here are the sources from Wikipedia and YouTube. And here is a list of YouTube sources representing the landscape of Wales, the capital city of Wales, and the most number of national wonders. Enjoy the course, enjoy your life, Thank you for being with me, and goodbye.